I've just been thinking a lot about this. God has a high value for freedom. In Galatians 5 verse 1, it says, "It was for freedom that Christ set us free." So in essence, a real reason that Christ came was to set us free. He has a high value for freedom. So I think in order for us to distill this value for freedom into our micronation, we have to become aware of what happens when we feel fear. So when we feel fear, often what happens is that we want to control a situation. So say you have fear about your toddler who's climbing up on a chair, and in general they're fine, they're good, and then all of a sudden they get in this they slip, or they have a precarious situation that they're in where they could really hurt themselves. And so this is what I do. I'll just say this is what I do. It's like I get my toddler, and then I have this fear that I want to clamp down and control this situation. So it's like, okay, we're done. We're not doing this anymore. We can't do this. I can't do this. I can't handle this level of freedom. There is a place for that. There's a place for reining it in and bringing laws. But I do think that we have to be aware of what happens when we make laws. We're regulating based on a rule as opposed to based on trust. So the ideal would be, hey, I trust you. I know what you're capable of. I know what you can do. And so I trust you doing. So we're making a law. We're making a law. Fine. Good. Laws are good. We need laws. But the ideal is that the law would no longer be needed as we mature in our trust relationship, and as our kids mature in their capability to handle themselves, and we trust them more and more, then we relinquish that law. And so if it's just this law that's there, and it's always there, and it's always been there, then our kids are going to start to feel stifled. And I think we kind of inherently know that, but we have to be conscious enough to realize that to kind of be ahead of in a leadership way, to be ahead of on the 8 ball, so to speak, instead of being behind on the 8 ball. Because if we're behind on the 8 ball, then our kids are going to press in to their freedom. They want to press against that law. They want to press against the bounds. They want to push the boundaries, so to speak. Everyone says that. Push the boundaries because they want more freedom. We were born for freedom. We all want freedom. And I think often we have fears that we bring into the parenthood journey and bring into the marriage. So then we want to control things that we ought not control. It's a hard one. It's a hard one to handle, but it's true. And if we're trying to control someone who does not need to be controlled, then we're in trouble, because we don't trust them, and that's a problem. So we really need to we need to grow in self-awareness of our own, what's going on inside. Okay, I'm feeling fear because my 2-year-old was about to fall and hit her face on a metal railing or something. I think that's pretty logical fear. That makes sense. That does make sense. But what if I have an irrational fear about something? Then I have to deal with it. Instead of making a culture of control, I have to deal with my fear so that I can build a culture of trust and a culture of freedom. Because if I want to bring the kingdom of God, I have to value freedom. So we always have to be looking for ways to give, empower, and give more freedom to those that we love in our micronation. So, hope that helps someone.